Welcome to Give Social, a show about helping you improve through inspiration. Each week, we discuss the things that make your heart sing through stories, interviews, and debate. Every day, normal people do amazing things in business, charity, or through self-improvement. And we're here to celebrate them. And my name's Rob.
And I'm Jen. So if you're looking for authentic, down-to-earth and practical help to build a better life, then we welcome you to the show. And just to make sure you never miss an episode or one of our bonus podcasts that we might sneak in from time to time, don't forget to subscribe through your preferred podcast provider. It's easy and more importantly, it's free.
Now, let's get on with today's show.
So welcome to the show. This week, we're back on the theme of self-improvement, self-empowerment and focusing on yourself. And we'll be taking a look at a great self-development tool, which is the series of best self-discovery decks.
I remember buying these decks quite a few months ago. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk through the series and try and give you an idea of what they're all about and how they might help you. I remember I found them online. I've been using the Best Self Journal for quite a while. And it was while I was ordering one of those that I saw they brought these pack of cards out. I was quite intrigued by them really, because it seemed to me that there was like a deck of cards that I could just use to inspire me when I was on the go, or I could use them in different scenarios. But it stopped me from searching on the internet. I started trying to pick things out from the cards. But more importantly, for us, it was about challenging each other and finding fun ways in the evening to spend time over a glass of wine when we wanted to ask each other those awkward questions sometimes as well.
So we're going to pull out a couple of the cards live during the show, and we promise to answer them honestly, or as honestly as we can, on a show that's being recorded and made available publicly.
I'm quite nervous about just opening them up and seeing what questions come out.
I know. But hopefully, though, you'll go away from today's episode having learned a bit about a different option you can try if you are looking into bettering yourself. And you'll probably learn a bit more about us, whether that's what you're here for or not.
Are we allowed to ditch any?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. As I said, this is a show that's being recorded, being made available publicly. There are things, these cards, you will learn as you listen on that there are some tricky things that can come out.
Yeah. We've also published an article on the Give Social website all about the cards. So if you want to know a bit more about them or even try them for yourself, you'll find everything you need on the website, givesocial.co.uk.
So before we begin and get into the cards, when we've just introduced this episode, we've used the term self-empowerment. And this is a term we've only recently come across, but it's one that's really resonated with us, mainly because I've certainly come to realise over the past few years, particularly, that personal responsibility for bettering yourself and your own development is absolutely everything. You know, you might really want to get better at something, but unless you yourself actually get up and do something about it, no one else can or is going to do it for you. So for me, the term self-empowerment really embodies that.
Absolutely. Self-empowerment is about taking control of your own life. It's about understanding yourself, focusing on yourself. It means you'll look for ways to really start digging into your strengths, your weaknesses, your self goals. And more importantly, it's about believing in yourself.
So it's got a huge amount to do with confidence, and whether confidence comes before self-empowerment or the other way around, I'm unsure. And I'm sure it's different for different people, but they are intrinsically linked.
Yeah. And like we said a second ago, in order to build confidence and therefore build self-empowerment, you need to spend time focusing upon yourself. And the Best Self Co-Discovery decks are a fantastic prompt at allowing you to do that. And we've used them a couple of times in the past. And normally, let's admit it, Jen, if we've ever used them in the past, and it has only been once or twice, we've tested them with Billy, which we'll talk about later in the show. We've used the intimacy deck just out of fun when we've had a glass of wine. And so I think let's tell people a little bit more about the cards so we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah. So there's lots of ways to start looking at bettering yourself or continuing on your self-improvement, self-empowerment journey. And it can be difficult to know where to start. And there are so many options, whether it be books, journaling. I mean, you talked about the Best Self Journal before, and we'll talk about that in another episode as well. But yeah, so books, journaling, courses, workshops, or products like these Best Self cards. Like I say, we'll be exploring lots of these over the next few months.
Yeah.
And we'll be suggesting some practical options for you if you're just at the beginning of that journey or if you're looking for new things to try. And we'll do that through both the website articles and through the podcast episodes.
The important thing for us here is we have probably tried everything and anything under the sun to help us improve. We must have spent thousands and thousands of pounds.
You must have spent...
Lots of parcels have been delivered over the years.
To Mr. Robert Flanagan.
Yes. But the thing is, I've bought some stinkers over the years. And I've bought some brilliant stuff. And I've been on courses that have cost me a fortune and they were absolutely rubbish. And I've bought courses online that have been really cheap and they've been the most valuable thing to me. And I've done free courses that have just been absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So one of the things that we're trying to do through Give Social, whether it be if you're in a charity and you're looking to write funding bids in a different way, if you're an individual who's looking to start their own side hustle, or if you're a couple who just want to spend more quality time with each other and improve the relationship that you've got, we will cover all of those things because we're only going to talk about the things that we've experienced or the things that we're qualified to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think these sorts of things are brilliant for all sorts of different reasons. Like you've said, if you're focusing on yourself, learning more about you, finding a way to challenge yourself, you can use them with your family, with your friends, but you can use them at work. They're a great tool for teams in the workplace, for generating ideas and for Mr. Innovation over there. The is it the Edison deck? We'll talk about that in a bit more detail. But you know, there are some brilliant ones that, I mean, we'll talk about them in more detail as we sort of list what they do. But essentially, they're all different themes and they are decks of cards that contain questions or prompts for you to answer, think about and reflect upon.
In each one, there's around 150 prompts in each of the decks, which sounds like a lot, but it means that you've got plenty to go at and they will keep you going for quite a while.
Yeah.
They are all based around different themes and you can either pick ones that suit you based upon what you want to focus on, or you can buy the set as a whole and then you've got them all to hand. So what we'll quickly do is break them down for you first. So we've got them here on the table in front of us. Jen, you've got...
So the first one I've got is Courage Over Comfort. So I'm just going to read the description on the back of the box so that you get an idea of what that one's all about. So it says, change can be uncomfortable. Dealing with that discomfort is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the easier it gets. Yeah. I think so. The Courage Over Comfort deck is designed to provide daily challenges that will push you out of your comfort zone. I don't like it there.
No.
Anyway, over time, you'll see a change in your response to the uncomfortable. Instead of shying away from change and challenges, you will find yourself choosing courage over comfort. And it says these ones in particular, they're great for just you on your own, or you can use these ones in a group.
What else have we got there then?
So I'll just go through the first couple and then I'll hand over to you then. So the next one is the Icebreaker box, which is a tool for meaningful conversations and deeper relationships.
Okay.
So it says communication is the key to growing meaningful relationships, but we often fall back on surface level conversations.
No chance with us. I long for
just a boring chat about the big shop or something.
Yeah, or what happened on Coronation Street last night.
Do you remember Soaps?
For anybody listening, not in the UK, Coronation Street is a sitcom that's been running for over 60 years. That involves a shopkeeper called Deirdre.
Not anymore.
Well,
I think that proves how long ago it was since you watched it.
Don't break the news that Deirdre is dead on.
I don't even know if she's dead. She went to jail for a bit.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I don't remember the whole campaign about Free Deirdre.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. Anyway, I can't really remember. It was the 90s the last time I watched it. So, yes. So anyway, Icebreaker deck is a tool to help spark thoughtful discussions. Not like that. This is why we need the cards. Because if we just do our own thing, it ends up just going somewhere. Anyway.
Where?
So, I don't No, not where I thought it was going to go. Anyway, no matter if it's with someone you've known for years or someone you've recently met, use the icebreaker deck to spark vulnerability. Oh, we can talk about that, can't we? Spark vulnerability, show off your quirky side, or share a fun memory.
We like sharing fun memories.
We do. It's, our favourite things to do. So that's two. Little talk.
How many are there in total?
Well, there's 8 we've got on the desk here. I think they've brought out a 9th one, which is an icebreaker theme.
Yeah.
But it's like a more in-depth version of the icebreaker one.
Okay.
So I think you can get a 9th one now. We've got the set of 8 here. So the next one is the little talk. And this is the one.
We like these.
We do. So this says, if you want to empower your child to be their best self while strengthening your relationship together, conversations are a great tool to use. And we did break these out one day, not in a formal way with Billy, but we'll talk about that a bit later on, but we have tried this. So this is because the right questions encourage self-expression, cultivate emotional intelligence, and inspire your child to explore their beliefs, mindsets, and ideas. So again, this is another box with 150 questions, and these are aimed at sparking thoughtful, revealing, and fun conversations with children. And as with the other decks, they're split into categories as well. So we'll talk through that when we open the boxes shortly. And the last one that I'm going to read through before I hand over to Rob is the Edison deck. Now, we should have given this one to you because this is the idea generation box. Which
I like that one.
This is your favourite, isn't it? This is the one. Rob could have written this one, maybe.
I'm very mad someone
got there before
me.
If you've listened to previous episodes, we've talked about Rob coming up with ideas and then getting just being thoroughly miffed when he realises that someone's already done it.
I must admit, this one I didn't come up with. However, I am going to shamelessly steal it in all of the coaching and work that I do.
To be fair, it is really good. So anyway, as long as you credit it fairly.
Well, this is what they're here for. They're here for people to use in different scenarios.
Exactly. So it says here, you might disagree with me now. I might read this out and you go, no, that's not right. But it says, idea generation is a habit as well as a skill. Yeah. It's definitely a... what do you call it? A subliminal thing with Rob, like ideas just generate without him even trying. They just come out all the time.
Most definitely.
Anyway, but idea generation being a habit and a skill means you can train your brain to come up with ideas at will. So it's a tool for everyday ideas. It says break a brain sweat by coming up with 10 ideas every day. So again, 150 prompt cards, and these unlock disruptive businesses, personal development, or creative ideas in places you'd never think to look. We're definitely picking that one later.
So we've got the intimacy deck over here.
Yeah.
This is all about when conversations with your partner become scarce or superficial, intimacy plummets. That's because intimacy is more than physical. It's also the connection you feel on a mental, emotional, even spiritual level. Do you agree with that, Jenna?
Yes.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication. So this intimacy deck is a tool that you can use to keep on talking with your partner. Use it regularly to spark meaningful conversations that help you cultivate and deepen your love. So I think we will definitely go with one of those shortly. Now we've got the worst self deck. I don't think we do this one today.
No, thank you.
We have done the worst self one, which is, I suppose, it's a bit like Cards of Humanity, this one.
Yeah.
So the description says, in a world of where many of us are trying to be the best version of ourselves, we still do things that unknowingly showcase our worst selves. This could be a bonus podcast episode, I think.
Possibly.
With maybe some explicit warnings.
Yeah.
With this satirical game, we lightheartedly explore the ugly side of ourselves and humanity. With a group of friends, pick a card and find out who is most likely to be their worst self.
But you know what? This actually fits into the self-empowerment thing because you kind of need to know yourself. And again, it fits into the vulnerability bit.
Yes.
You kind of need to know yourself, and actually you can say how great you are, or you can pick out what your strengths are, or you can come up with a really positive answer, but that will force you to think about things that...
Well, but also it forces you to hear what some other people might think of you as well, which can be, we talk about vulnerability. That can
very
be
uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but the point is that you're meant to learn and grow from it. So although you wouldn't want to, you need to be in the right mood to be doing this sort of stuff, don't you, really?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We've got the Wordsmith deck. The Wordsmith deck is all about teasing out ideas or recording a memory. They're all difficult things to do. So it's saying that the Wordsmith deck is a tool for journaling, Inside, there are 150 prompt cards crafted to fuel your thoughts and writing into high gear. So overcome your fear of the blank page with the Wordsmith deck.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all about increasing how people can be inspired to write in different ways, depending on how they feel.
If it is something you want to do, but sometimes you just sit there and it's almost like writer's block. These help you just have a think about some of the things you might want to reflect on.
Okay, so the last one is the decision deck that we got in our set. And this is, the description on here says, the quality of our life is directly correlated to the quality of our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to your tool for informed choices, a guide deck that will help you make wiser decisions through variable thinking, testing assumptions, and reducing hindsight bias.
Yes.
So with this, you've basically got to eliminate decision paralysis by exercising the skills you'll learn with 31 prompt cards. So this is a much smaller deck than the others in the decision deck.
Yeah, I need that. I suffer from decision paralysis when I'm trying to choose what I want from a menu. Yeah, they're not just for really serious stuff. They can help you in all sorts of ways.
Oh, definitely. Then that's why I think now we jump straight into it now and let's really test each other. Yeah.
So we're not going to go through a whole deck or even the whole series of decks. A, because it'll take too long, and B, because we don't want to ruin it for you, because you'll want to explore these more if you're going to challenge yourself with these. And I suppose talking about ways to challenge yourself, as I said, we've not drawn any of these out before the show. We wanted to add a bit of excitement for ourselves. We love living dangerously.
Oh, yes, living dangerously, not knowing what we're going to read next.
Whoa, anyway. So, okay, go on. So let's start with the cards then. So we'll start with the icebreaker deck.
Oh, breaking us in nicely and easily.
See?
Like you're thinking.
So, icebreaker.
If anybody can't tell you, I have had nothing to do with this episode so far. Very kindly, Jenna came up with the idea for this episode. So I literally am sat here with pretty much no idea what's coming up next.
Neither do I at this point.
That's quite right.
But I haven't done a sneaky little mark the cards or fold the corners down so I know which ones to pick out. But these set of prompts are split into 6 categories. There's 150 cards per box. And then they're split into 6 categories. So in this one, it's either life, random, deep and meaningful experiences, if you could, or would you rather.
Okay, because we've not used
we've not used this one at all.
We've not used that one at all. So
no.
Great. Let's start with one we've never used.
Right.
Come on then.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know me. I know you. It's fine. Right. So I think I'll pick one, then I'll hand you the box and then you can pick one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Right, okay. I'm going to go with a life one.
Oh, she's picking
no, it's not. It's a would you rather.
Oh.
Okay. Would you rather have a cook or a maid?
Oh. Would I rather have a cook or a maid?
Hang on, I'm both, aren't I?
I would rather have a cook. I think. Hang on. I'm going with cook because although I do enjoy cooking every now and again, I don't really do it much, I'll be honest.
True.
I do cooking most when I've got a surge for healthy and being productive. But I've got to be honest, it's not something I spend a lot of time doing.
No. I was going to say, are you going to say that you do more cleaning?
No.
This is not a true reflection.
I think a maid would get in my way.
Because they aren't confined to one room.
Yes, I can. All I'm thinking now is I'm going to be in a room doing something, and the maid's going to walk in.
Okay, we'll leave that there.
No, not like that. I just mean if I'm busy, and a maid can just cruise through the house, walking in different rooms and clean. And no.
Okay.
Give me
so
a
you don't want anybody who wanders.
I've completely convinced myself I want a cook.
Okay, fine. So if I pass them to you now to pick one, so those are the themes, and then
I'm not even going to look at the themes. I'm just going to pick
one.
A colour.
I am allowed to decline.
Okay, so I'm picking out
this is so scary.
I'm picking out a red one. What does red mean?
Hang on. No, deep.
Oh, is
deep and meaningful.
Brilliant.
For goodness
Here
sake.
we go. Deep and meaningful, Jen.
Go on.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay, well, hang on. I'll decide.
What are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Oh, first of all, definitely see the Northern Lights.
Okay. She didn't even have to break a breath.
That's a thing. I think about it all the time. I really, really want to go.
So if there's any companies listening who do trips to the Northern Lights and would like a Give Social review of the Northern Lights, please get in contact via contact@givesocial.co.uk.
By Northern Lights, I don't mean Blackpool Illuminations before anybody. Before you take me down that route.
So you want to see the Northern Lights. What else have you got on your list?
Okay, so I'm going to have to think a bit more about the next two.
You're not allowed to think for too long.
My brain doesn't work that quickly. I think the other would be, I'd like to go horseback riding.
Yes.
Abroad.
Okay.
You know, like the horse trekking?
Yes.
I've done it in Ireland. I've done it here in the UK. And I want to ride a horse, ride a horse with a proper Western saddle on it. So an American Western saddle and just go out.
I mean, I'm looking
meandering.
at you. I'm looking at you now and there's a big picture of horses behind you.
Yeah, there is. I chose that.
Yes, we put a picture of horses in the studio.
That got brought up on a conference call the other day and everyone went, any particular reason why you got that picture?
You've always loved horses. You said that in one of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
So I can understand
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So we've got riding a horse in a foreign country and seeing the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
One more.
Do you know what? Learn an instrument properly.
Okay.
Genuinely, you're looking at me like I've never said that before in my life, and it's probably because I haven't but it's on the spot. One of the things that probably would round me more as a person.
Apart from the cake.
Apart from the cake and chocolate and crisps. Anyway, but yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Now can we make sure you put them back in the right box? Don't leave them out.
Oh, here we go. This is Jenna's OCD is now kicking in because I put the card deck down and I didn't put the cards back in the right place. So now she's telling me off. While I'm talking, I'm trying to put the cards
I'm just watching.
Back in the right place.
That one just goes at the front.
Okay, so the next one, I've got this one, so I'm going to start and ask you a question from it first. And this is the Edison deck. So the tool for everyday ideas. So I'm going to take the lid off of this one. And just very quickly on the instructions for this one, we've again got lots of categories. So we've got entrepreneurship, random, the future, the past, relationships, and self. So basically you pick a card from the deck and you write 10 ideas from that prompt. So I'm going to give you one of the prompts and I want you to give me at least 3 ideas.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're flying through them. We don't want to be here all day.
No. And also it takes me a long time to make.
Yes.
Come up with stuff.
Apparently you will see your creativity increase the more you push yourself.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's have a look. I am gonna use the card this time and I'm gonna pick one from the future. Which is the green one in this. Here we go. So we've got like this one.
Okay.
Financial.
Go on.
So 3 ideas. Ways you could adjust your spending to save money this week.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely having just done the big shop online, could have A, not done it online, B, looked for more offers, C, done it somewhere else to save money.
Okay, so that's one, the online shop.
Well, we're about to have a couple of days away.
We are.
So maybe not spending too long in the shops with, of course, a face covering on anyway. So it's spending time in shops at the moment, not our favourite thing anyway.
It's not.
I suppose not being frivolous in the shopping area.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Not that I am. I'm not normally, but...
No, I think one of the things that we do when we go out, if we talk about wasting money when we're going out for a weekend like we do, it's probably the drinks. And I don't mean drinking too much.
No.
It's going, I'll
have a cocktail.
But exactly the same. Yes, we do. We have a look at the menu and we go, let's have a cocktail.
Yeah, we're treating ourselves. But let's not. Let's have half a lager.
The price of cocktails these days.
Oh, dearie me, it's outrageous.
So we've got 2, the online shop and the shop. Third way.
Okay. Oh, so this is tricky now because you talked about sort of drinking and going out and maybe eating and drinking and that being one. So I don't want to say that again. Driving the car more efficiently so I don't use as much petrol.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't... All right, okay, fine. Stopping you buying stuff on Amazon.
Stick with the car. Stick with driving sensibly. You've more chance with that one.
Exactly. But this is the point of these cards. It's not quick off the top of your head stuff. It really does make you think. And obviously we haven't got the time to do that properly here because you'd be bored to tears by the time we'd finished. But I think this is almost proving the point of what the cards are there to do. It's to make you properly reflect and think, isn't it?
It is. And I suppose we've never really even thought about how we drive our car.
Well, I did only the first time we got a car that showed me my fuel consumption. And it was a little bit of a competition for myself to beat my last journey.
The miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the novelty wore off with that.
Okay.
And actually, we've not gone anywhere for 5 months.
No.
Been home.
No.
Anyway, right. So your turn.
My turn.
So I'm going to pick you one, and that's going to be random.
A random from the Edison deck, which is the colour yellow.
Do you know what it says on it?
What?
Websites you love.
Okay.
You got to think about websites that you love. Can't not give your own website a plug here.
I will not plug givesocial.co.uk at all. These next 3 websites will have nothing to do with givesocial.co.uk. Okay, my favourite 3 websites. I like one called Medium.
Oh.
It's
I can check your browser history, by the way, to confirm.
No, you can't.
Carry on. Go on, Medium.
Medium. I like Medium because it is a plethora of articles written by different content creators.
Okay.
And they do things like search engine optimization very well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're searching for a solution on something, very often, or if you're looking for an opinion piece on news and politics, Medium will pop up quite regularly. So I suppose it's one of those that's actually changing the way that people search for things online.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so Medium.
Yep.
Another site I use regularly.
Just so intrigued to hear what you can come up with. Carry on.
I'm just looking at my search history on my laptop now. Delete.
Amazon.
Yeah.
No, not a shopping one.
Not a shopping one. Okay. It's a bit, my search history, I must admit, is very boring.
Okay.
I'm the type of person who doesn't have a certain website that I will go onto, unless you're talking about Facebook.
Yeah, or YouTube or something like that. Yeah.
If YouTube is a website, then I will say YouTube because I get a lot of information from YouTube. I do search it quite a lot. Jenna has got the giggles. I know why Jenna's got the giggles. Because she suddenly thought, I wonder if he got anything on his search engine history that
I'm so dying to look.
The third one would be, I think, as I was trying to explain before you got the giggles, I don't generally go searching on the internet for specific websites. What I search for are my own interests. So I think the other website that pops up a lot, which I do look on, is Huffington Post. I read the Huffington Post not as a choice because I have a political allegiance one way or the other. It's another almost more crowdsourced news article type website where different people contribute to the news stories. And I like anything where I try and get a more balanced opinion of what's going on in the news or what's going on in politics, which is why I'll generally go into Google if I'm looking for something and then take my search out from there. And I'm sure as we go along, we'll talk about things like search engine optimization. And because I understand what search engine optimization does, I'm very aware that some of the information that I'm getting back via the news may not be the most relevant and fair information. So I can dig a little bit deeper and make sure that I get a balanced view of whatever it is that I'm reading about. And I think that might be a really good topic for us to discuss at another time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you could go so many ways with that. You could go into the whole fake news arena. You could go into and this again is about personal responsibility for spending the time to find out more, not only about yourself, but actually taking it upon yourself to question things and to read more about particular subjects. If you are interested in something, don't just take what's popped up on a social media site as a suggested post.
Exactly.
Because actually, that's been put there for a reason because your phone or that website thinks that's something you're interested in. You need to read around that, don't you?
The number of times I see people share things that come from websites and I don't even click the website because I just look at the name of the website.
Yeah.
And straight away I know this is going to be a load of tosh.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be rubbish.
Yeah.
But the person who's sharing it hasn't probably 9 times out of 10 even bothered to read it. Okay, where are we going next?
The intimacy deck.
Okay, we're going to go with the intimacy deck.
I've not even gone into that gently. I'm like, that one.
Jen's only just got over her giggles from the last one.
It took me so long. I'm really sorry.
So who knows where this one's
I've not giggled like that since, when you're at assembly in school and then something tickles you, but then because you're not meant to be laughing, you find it even funnier and then you get sent out. That was what just happened. I nearly got sent out of the studio.
I just want to say, actually, we've not really said much about how they look and feel, these
No, we
best
haven't.
self boxes.
We haven't, no.
And I must admit that we have them. In fact, you'll see them on our YouTube video
Oh, you will?
because we had them on our bookshelf.
Yeah.
They sit on the top shelf
Mm-hmm.
and we display them as a kind of pyramid so that they're there, easy to access for us in our lounge if we decide that we want to use them for whatever purpose.
Yeah.
But also they come in these, I suppose, quite well designed boxes.
They're lovely, yeah.
Each with their own colour. They all have their own little intricate artwork on them, depending upon what the subject is. And they genuinely do not look out of place in the lounge, do they?
Oh, no, not at all.
They wouldn't look out of place in an office. And if I had any criticism at all, I think it would be that I think they probably could be a little bit smaller. They're quite bulky. So
They're like square boxes, aren't they?
yeah, and I'm only talking here as somebody who travels around doing coaching or traveling around doing the innovation work. And if I wanted to use these with a group, and let's say I want to take 2 boxes with me, suddenly my backpack's going to get quite heavy.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I've done this once so far, is I've actually taken a couple of cards out and taken them with me, or I've taken a photo of them and then I've used them when I've got there from my phone.
Taking cards out of a deck, out of the same building.
Exactly.
Crikey Moses.
So I would like maybe some kind of travel pack. There's an idea.
Not a bad shout.
There's an idea.
Now, the decision deck that when we listed them all out, now that decision deck, because it is a smaller pack, so all the others are 150 cards, but that's only 30 something?
Yeah, and this one's shaped more like a deck of cards, isn't it?
So that one, the design of that one, and what we'll do is we'll take a picture. You'll see a picture of these.
Take some
we're going
photos.
We're going to do an article about these anyway on the website. So you'll see them there. We'll kind of showcase them a little bit there, and you'll see what we're talking about. But yeah, definitely good shout in that. If there was one improvement, that's a really good one.
Yeah,
a really good one. Really.
There's a plea to best self.
Yeah,
bring out a travel deck.
Where
you can put your favourite cards and take them with you.
Mm.
Okay, so we're on the intimacy deck. I'm going to ask you the first question, Jenna.
Right, hang on, what are you looking at there?
I'm looking at the instructions and how to use them.
So it's the first time you ever look at the instructions for anything.
6 categories. I've got the instructions in front of me. This is about asking your partner questions to see where a conversation leads. So this should be a bit of fun with us. You might be surprised by the twists and turns your discussions take, apparently. These questions are designed to help you get to know each other. So get ready to be open.
Okay.
Which is why I'm asking you first.
Okay.
Am I allowed to pick any of these on the back? So
Can I look at what just read them out.
We've got the categories again: 6, past, random, life, relationship, intimacy, or about you.
Just go random.
Are you sure? I'll go random. Okay, let's go random, which is the yellow one again.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Okay.
Oh no. Go on.
This is an easy one for you.
You reckon? Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous would you be if I started to look through your phone?
Oh, do you know what? Not really.
I knew you'd say that.
Yes.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous? So 10 would be ultra nervous.
Oh yeah, not at all. Like 1. It's really boring.
Even if I got to see your search history on the internet?
You'd be so bored. Yeah, no, that's fine for me.
When you've got a 6-year-old child, having anything on your phone.
Well, he's got my phone most of the time. So in fact, you know what? I'd quite like to see my search history because I'd like to know what Billy's been looking for.
I think that's the point I was making, really, is that when you've got a 6-year-old child and anybody can look through the search history of a phone or look what's on a phone, because
it would be
the
Minecraft.
The child would have found it at some point anyway.
Yeah, true.
So you got away with it there.
Okay, right,
very easily.
Your turn.
Here we go.
Da, da, da.
Handing it over.
Do you mind which category? Can I just? I might not even look.
Go for it.
I'm just going to pick one.
Go for it.
Green. What's green?
Oh,
probably life.
Okay.
What's currently keeping you up at night or causing you stress?
If I'm honest, I think we're now quite a few episodes into the podcast. We're trying to do this new website, and the demands on us from a work perspective have been quite intense.
Yeah, so we're doing this entirely like at night. Really?
Yeah, and that's a good point. When I say from a work perspective has been intense, I mean in our day jobs.
Exactly.
Never mind our side hustle as well.
Yeah.
And I think if I had a choice of not waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and doing a couple of hours work on this stuff before we do the day job, I would say, oh, that would be lovely. However, I have a natural tendency to wake up early.
I was going to say, you did that before we were doing this.
And I think that the one thing that's keeping me up is managing all the things that need doing in accordance with the time that they need doing for. So one of the things I'm really, really keen to do is make sure that we put a podcast out at a regular time every single week. And that adds pressure. So for example, we're going away this weekend. We're going away next weekend. And I'm away for 2 days this week.
And the weekend after.
And the weekend after. So over the next 3 weeks, I think I'm away for the best part of 6 or 7 days. So it's planning has been really, really important.
Yeah.
And we've done really well.
Yeah.
We've planned. Everything's in place. But putting together a podcast, putting together a website isn't as easy as just turning on a microphone and having a chat. There's a lot that goes on behind that. And I think probably in a few weeks' time, we'll go into more detail about that and we'll show people how we started this podcast and all about our journey of how we got there and how we found it and everything else. But at the moment, this week, last few days has been quite stressful. And that has been the thing that's been keeping me up. And in fact, you'll probably agree that probably 48 hours ago, I was quite moody.
Well, I think we both have, to be fair. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's ups and downs. And we're loving doing what we're doing.
Yes.
And it is really good fun. And like you say, yes, there's more to it than just sitting down and us having a chat and it just happens to be recorded. There's obviously way more to it than that. And most of the time, when you've got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's to sort the transcript out or something else that kind of falls out of it. Yeah. But it's something that we really enjoy.
Yes.
And as long as we both understand that if there is a bit of grumps or whatever, it's just because we've got a lot on, but we're enjoying it and
we are.
And it's building what we do and it's great.
Okay, so I think we got away with that.
I think we did. Phew. Because this one, when we have done this before, it can be difficult.
So pass me the intimacy deck. Very quickly.
You got away with it. Don't start.
No, I'm not going to. Don't worry. I'm not going to ask you the question, but let's have a look. What colour have we got for intimacy? So just to give people an example, I'm going to pick one out from the intimacy. The questions in here. Okay. There we go. This is why we didn't go for the intimacy. First one.
Go on.
Where are 3 places you've thought about having sex other than your own bed?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And these are things that you definitely don't talk about on a podcast.
The reason I think...
say, what are you going to talk about now?
No, the reason I think they're really interesting is, and I think I can say this, we've got a podcast episode coming up in the next few weeks.
Yes.
Where we're going to hopefully, and I'm not going to reveal the name of the person.
No.
Because we've got a couple of people lined up. There is one person in particular that I'm hoping that we'll speak to. And we will be covering, and it's going to be a very awkward conversation for me, but I'll get over it. And I'm really looking forward to it because we've got to be open about these things. We will be talking about body image. We will be talking about self-empowerment more, but particularly with an angle from a relationship, a sex perspective, and that self-worth that comes from
inside yourself.
So that's a great time for us to
move on. That episode's going to be weird.
It is going to be weird.
Especially when the thought of discussing anything like that, even with you, it all my insides collapse slowly inside on themselves. And it's like all of me wants to just curl up in a ball and just go under the ground and not really talk about it. But
however, there is also that element of the fact that we are in a relationship. We're married. We've been married for 10 years. We can have very open, honest conversations with each other.
Yeah.
Some are for the broadcast, some aren't. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Anybody who thinks a married couple after 10 years can't have those conversations, they really need to
get these cards out.
Yes.
Anyway, right. So let's move on just to the final one that we're going to look at. And this is the little talk deck.
Yeah, the one we've done with Billy.
So again, I think I said this before. We didn't sit Billy down and go, right, okay, this is what we're going to do. We just said, oh, this is really fun. They're really fun. Mummy and Daddy have been having a look at these cards, and there's some here that are we can ask you questions, and if you want to answer them, you want to answer them. If you don't, you don't. It's fine. And they're just little conversation starters, aren't they? Really? I don't know. What were your observations of that chat with Billy?
I really liked it when we did them with Billy. He approached the questions for a 6-year-old from a perspective that I didn't expect a 6-year-old to approach it from. And I think this is something that actually teaches us as parents more than it just teaches the child. because you get to ask them questions about things that are important to them or how they understand something, and they'll just tell you. They will tell you the first thing that's in their mind, and you get that raw, open conversation. And the fact that you can turn it into a game and show them the box and say, right, we're going to play a game. We're going to play a card game, and you've got to answer the question. They love it.
One of the things I really liked about this was, I mean, I know we're not that old, but talking certainly to your parents, it's not as if we didn't do it, but there was nothing, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now, understanding yourself and being really open to how you think and how you react to things.
Yes.
And it's, even the chimp paradox, we bought Billy the children's version of that book.
Yes.
It's little things like that I just don't think were around when we were younger.
No, and apologies if my dad is listening. I remember when I was younger, although I have amazingly supportive parents, unfortunately my mum's no longer with us, and they were absolutely amazing, and I could speak to them about anything, but I didn't want to speak to them about anything.
Exactly.
And things like this weren't around then. So a lot of the conversation, because I came from a religious family as well, were often geared around, what do you think your faith tells you should do? And I'm going to be honest here, life has moved on a lot. Life has moved on a lot.
Nothing about what you think. It's just what you think you're being told, what you think other people think you should do.
Yeah, and I think the question that this encourages is actually, what do you think the right thing to do is?
And why? Think about why.
Yeah.
What, things about. So same as all the others, so there's 6 categories. Again, there's a random category in it. And this one focuses on likes and dislikes, self-expression, hopes and dreams, reflection, and then emotional intelligence. And I think emotional intelligence is something you hear a lot about nowadays. But actually, when you dig into that and you understand more what that means, it's so important.
Yes.
So important in so many different ways, whether it be in business or in your own personal life, and
if you can increase that in a child,
develop it in them.
That's it, exactly. Develop it in a child from an early age.
Yeah.
Without ramming it down the throats in one way or another, then everyone's a winner. So we're just going to finish very shortly. So I just want you to give me an example of a couple of
examples.
Things.
Yeah. So in the emotional intelligence section, I love this. See, what does it feel like to admit when you've got something wrong? So it's that thought.
I asked Billy that very question the other day.
Yeah.
Not from the back of cards.
No.
Just because he didn't share something with a friend who visited.
So the next one, hopes and dreams. What do you most want to learn? So that's another good one. In the reflection section.
I like it, the reflection section.
Sounds like that could be an episode. What are you grateful to have in your life today? So that's another one. Gratitude's a biggie, isn't it?
It is. And again, it's the ability to have that conversation with a child in a, suppose, more of a structured but fun way really helps.
The self-expression one, what does your mum or dad do that you think's really unfair? Maybe we should ask him that and record it.
Yeah, I think we could definitely record that one, and we'd probably get something about the podcast. So I think they're a really good tool that we can use with Billy as we go forward, and I'm sure other parents will find them useful as well. Overall, let's give the best self deck a mark out of 10, Jen. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go quite high.
I know you really like them. I really like them. I'm glad that I bought them.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the content, some of the boxes are better than others.
Yeah, true.
So I really like the ideas one. I've not quite figured out the decision deck properly yet. So for example, when you use the decision deck, you've got to use all 25 cards in order to work through a process. That's great if you've got the time.
Yeah.
One of the things that I promote very often is doing things in a time scale that suits you.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a massive fan of things that are really, really structured, that take a very long time through that structure in order to achieve it. So the decision deck is something that I've not fully used yet. I think the worst self, there's a bit of a risk with that one, as there is with intimacy one, because I think both of those, so the worst self and the intimacy deck, easy for me to say. My recommendation here would be, do not use these. If you're using the intimacy deck and you don't feel like you're in a very secure relationship.
Yeah.
Because there will be problems.
Yeah.
And secondly, the worst self deck if you're with family or friends or work colleagues where maybe you might not like what they say. So they come, I would say, with a higher risk.
Yes, that's true. I think there is a scale of risk attached to these cards, definitely.
And so anybody who thinks that the best self deck is something about easy self-empowerment.
Not easy.
Not at all. And that they can just pick these up and work through them, and then they're going to be a much better version of themselves. That is not.
No, but and that's the point. Though a self-development journey isn't meant to be easy, is it? I think that's the thing. However, when you say there's a card deck, it's not a light-hearted fun for all the family. Some of them are, but I think there are other ones that you do need to be in the right mood for.
Yes,
and also be ready to deal with what comes out of them. But overall,
yes,
we think they are definitely a good tool to just think, and even if you just read through them yourself and didn't necessarily do it with somebody else, because that's the point. You can just use these independently.
You don't
necessarily have to go through them with somebody else.
No, and I would definitely recommend the ones that you use by yourself. And if you're with the right people, it's a great way to bring people together as well. I'm a massive fan of them. We're a massive fan of them because of the stage in which we're at in our lives and how we can utilize and use them with our clients and with other people as well.
Yeah.
So out of 10, I'm going to give them an 8.
Oh, I was going to go 8.
Okay.
Should have said 8 first. So that's it for today. We hope you found it interesting and maybe that you feel a bit more comfortable about asking yourself some of these questions. And don't forget, we've put all the links you'll need to learn more in the article on the website. And we'll also send you off to other interesting things you might want to look into as well.
We will. And it's time for us to finish today, but we will be back next week with another episode, and we can't wait for you to join us.
Before then, why not join our Facebook group, Give Social, or head on over to our website, givesocial.co.uk. We've got some special things lined up for subscribers and Facebook followers, giveaways, guides, and free tips, so don't miss out.
We'll see you all next week for more Give Social. Bye-bye.